Dear students, wish you a very good day. Today we are going to do The Tiger King, a story from the Vista Supplementary Reader Class 12. It is written by Ramaswamy Krishnamurthy, better known by his pen name Kalki. He was a Tamil writer, journalist, poet, critic, and Indian independence activist. He was named after Kalki, the 10th and last avatar of Hindu god Vishnu. The Tiger King is a short political satire on the pride and ego of kings in particular and of all those in power in general. It also draws attention to the cruelty being meted out to the animals and calls for measures to protect the tiger, which is close to extinction. Kalki has presented it humorously to the readers. The writer takes us to the days of autocratic and eccentric kings. These kings lived under the thumb rule of British. Hence, they feared them. Most of the rulers were not interested in serving the people and working for the welfare of the public. Instead, they spent their time in foolish pursuits. They flouted all the laws and bent them to suit their selfish interest. Even the courtiers who surrounded these power centers were interested in taking advantage of the proximity for their own welfare. The story is a good mix of the supernatural, humor, and irony. Before starting the story, you must know what satire is. Satire is a genre of literature which uses humor, irony, exaggeration, or ridicule to expose and criticize people's stupidity or vices, particularly in the context of contemporary politics and other topical issues. The story starts with the introduction of its hero, the Maharaja of Pratibandhupuram, the protagonist of the story. He has been decorated with many titles. Kalki, the author of the story, has no intention of praising the king. In fact, immediately after addressing him with the variety of titles, he brings an anticlimax by telling his readers that his name is shortened to Tiger King. The writer comes forward to tell about the king, why he is known as the Tiger King. He also promises to tell the complete story. He would not withdraw in between even with the threat of Stuka Bomber. Stuka Bomber was a German ground attack aircraft which was known for its high accuracy in hitting its target and terrorizing sound it emitted. Through the reference of Stuka Bomber, the author wants to convey that he intends to tell why Maharaja of Pratibandhupuram came to be known as Tiger King and nothing else. Not even horrifying Stuka Bomber could compel him to digress from the topic. The writer is sure if people come to know about the king of undefeatable courage, they would crave to meet him face to face, but it won't be possible because he is no more. The writer says that the manner of his death is a matter of extraordinary importance, but he would reveal it at the end of the story. When the king was born, the astrologers predicted that one day the Tiger King would actually have to die. I am reading the part of the chapter where the astrologers have predicted his death. The child will grow up to become the warrior of warriors, hero of heroes, champion of champions, but they bit their lips and swallowed hard. When compelled to continue, the astrologers came out with it. This is a secret which should not be revealed at all. And yet, we were forced to speak out. The child born under this star will one day have to meet its death. So here you have seen that astrologers are afraid of making any bad prediction about the king. They have told all the good things about the king, but they don't dare to say anything wrong about him. At that moment, A miracle happened. 10-day-old Jilani Jung Jung Bahadur addressed the prophets. Everybody was surprised. Nobody could know from where the sound had come. Again the child spoke, and there was nothing to doubt that the child was speaking. The astrologer also looked at him with surprise. The child wanted to know the manner of his death. The astrologer was very surprised to know that the merely 10 days royal infant was not only speaking but was raising logical questions. He answered, the prince was born in the hour of the bull. The bull and the tiger are enemies, and therefore death comes from the tiger. Dear students, you must have been thinking that the crown prince would have been afraid of the word tiger, but it was not so. As he heard these words, he announced, let tigers beware. This account was widespread like rumor in Pratibandhapuram, but there was truth in it. The crown prince grew taller and stronger day by day. His childhood was uneventful as compared to his birth. Like other princes in India, the prince drank the milk of English cow, was looked after, was an English nanny, tutored in English by an Englishman, and saw nothing but English films. He was crowned the king at the age of 20. The astrologer's predictions slowly reached his ears. He went on a tiger hunt and killed his first tiger. Elated by his feat, he sent for the state astrologer. The astrologer again warned the king that the prophecy was right. He might kill 99 tigers, but the 100th tiger would prove to be fatal for him. If the king would succeed in killing the 100th tiger, the astrologer promised to cut off his tuft of hair, burn all the astrology books, and become an insurance agent. The Maharaja banned tiger hunting in his kingdom. A proclamation was issued that anyone dared to fling so much as a stone at a tiger, all his wealth and property would be confiscated. The king was adamant to prove the prediction wrong and vowed to attend to all the other matters only after killing 100 tigers. The Maharaja faced many dangers on his quest. The bullet missed its mark. The tiger leapt upon him, and he had to fight the beast with his bare hands, etc. Each time it was the Maharaja who won. A high-ranking British officer visited Pratibandhapuram with a wish to hunt tigers. He was very fond of getting his pictures clicked with his victims. The Maharaja was resolute. He refused permission. He felt that if he relented, other British officers would turn up with the same request. Now, he stood in danger of losing his kingdom. After many deliberations with his divan over the issue, they came up with a plan. 50 diamond rings were sent to the officer's wife. The Maharaja expected that she would choose 1 or 2 rings, but the greedy lady kept the whole lot. The bribe cost him 3 lakh rupees, but the kingdom was saved. The Maharaja's tiger hunts were successful. Within 10 years, he was able to kill 70 tigers. As a result, the tiger population became extinct in Pratibandhapuram. After indiscriminate hunting of the tiger, when the tigers became extinct, he did not hold himself responsible for the extinction of tigers. Instead, he said there would have been 3 reasons behind their disappearance. Number 1, they might have practiced birth control. Number 2, they might have committed to harakari. Harakari is a ritual suicide by belly cutting formerly practiced in Japan by samurai. As an honorable alternative to disgrace or execution. Number 3, or they might have run away from the state because they desired to be shot by British hands alone. The Maharaja devised a scheme. He called up the Diwan. Now, what was the conversation between the Maharaja and the Devan? I am going to read from the book. One day, the Maharaja sent for the Diwan. Diwan Sahib, aren't you aware of the fact that 30 tigers still remain to be shot down by this gun of mine? He asked, brandishing his gun. Shuddering at the sight of the gun, the Diwan cried out, Your Majesty, I am not a tiger. Which idiot would call you a tiger? No, I am not a gun. You are neither tiger nor gun, Diwan Sahib. I summoned you here for a different purpose. I have decided to get married. The Diwan began to babble even more. Your Majesty, I have 2 wives already. If I marry you, don't talk nonsense. Why should I marry you? What I want is a tiger. Your Majesty, please think it over. Your ancestors were married to the sword. If you like, marry the gun. A tiger king is more than enough for this state. It doesn't need a tiger queen as well. So all of you saying that this was the humorous conversation which went on between the Diwan and the king. And you must have noticed how afraid Diwan was from the king. The king asked the Diwan to find a princess of royal family in any other native state with a large tiger population. The Diwan followed the order and found the right girl for him. The Maharaja killed 5 or 6 tigers each time he visited his father-in-law. He managed to kill 99 tigers, and then unfortunately the tigers of his father-in-law's kingdom were all dead. Now only 1 tiger remained to be killed. The Maharaja was sunk in gloom as he was unable to find the last tiger. Suddenly there came the news that the tiger had been seen in a hillside village. The Maharaja was so happy at the news that he announced a 3-year exemption from all taxes for that village and set out on the hunt at once. The tiger, it seemed, kept himself hidden. The Maharaja's fury and obstinacy mounted alarmingly. He ordered that the land taxes would be doubled. The Diwan tried to warn him that such a measure could prove to be catastrophic. The Maharaja became more outraged and asked the Diwan to resign. The Diwan, to save himself, decided to give up the old tiger and that had been brought from the People's Park in Madras and kept hidden in this house. This is the example of bending the laws in the favor to suit him. This is the example of corrupting influence of power. The Diwan and his wife dragged the old and weak tiger to the car and shoved it into the back seat. After much resistance from the tiger, the exhausted Diwan was somehow able to leave the tiger in the forest in which the Maharaja had been hunting. The Maharaja was delighted to see the 100th tiger. He took careful aim at a shot at the beast. The tiger fell in a crumpled heap. The Maharaja was filled with boundless joy and fulfilling his vow. He ordered the tiger to be brought to the capital in a grand procession. After the Maharaja left, the hunters went to take a close look at the tiger. They were shocked to see that the tiger was still alive. The tiger had actually fainted from the shock of the bullet whizzing past him. They decided not to tell the Maharaja that he had missed his target. They feared losing their job, and one of the hunters then killed the tiger himself. The dead tiger was taken in a procession through the town and buried. A tomb was erected over it. After achieving the feat, the Maharaja turned his attention to his child. It was his 3rd birthday and he wished to give him something special. He went for shopping but could not find anything worthy enough. Finally, he spotted a wooden tiger and brought it for his son. The wooden tiger was carved by an unskilled carpenter. Tiny slivers of wood stood up like quills all over it. One of the slivers pierced the Maharaja's right hand while he was playing with his son. He did not mind it and pulled it out. The next day, infection spread in his hand. In 4 days, it developed into a festering sore which spread all over his arms. 3 surgeons from Madras operated on him but were unable to save his life. Thus, the 100 tiger took his revenge. The king's death is ironical but not surprising for the reader who is in fact looking forward to it. Having killed the 100 tiger, the king is jubilant for he has fulfilled his vow and disproved the prediction of the royal astrologer. He is now at ease for he thinks he cannot die of a tiger's attack. No wonder he orders the dead tiger to be taken in the procession through the town and gets a tomb erected over it. All this while he does not know that hundreds victim was not killed by him but by other hunters. That is indeed quite ironical. Death is lurking around him and the king is unaware of it. Again, it is ironical that a king who has killed 99 tiger was ultimately killed by the wooden tiger. Again, the operation is successful. The Maharaja is dead. Now we will discuss the irony of situation in this sentence. The 3 famous surgeons were called from Madras to treat the Maharaja. The whole incident is a satire on the life of rich and people in power. Everything in their life should be grand, be it a disease, purchase or treatment. So when the Maharaja got hurt by a wooden splinter, specialists from Madras were called. The surgeons discussed and debated for some time and decided to operate. At the end of the operation, they said the operation was successful, but the Maharaja was dead. As if the procedure was important to them, but life had no meaning for them. The job of doctors is to save people and not highlight the technicalities of the treatment. But here it was just that poor Maharaja was relegated to non-entity whose life was not of so much consequences to them. So this was all about the story The Tiger King. If you like the explanation, please press the like button. If you are new on the channel, subscribe it and also press the notification bell on to get the latest updates. For practice questions, you can check the description box. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.